the night, the glittering halls of Putin's Crimean guest house were filled with laughter, crystal glasses, and whispered conversations of power. Russia's elite believed themselves untouchable inside their fortress of marble and glass. Yet, out on the Black Sea, a silent phantom was already on its way. The Mura V-5, a Ukrainian drone boat, carried with it 6 hidden weapons that would rewrite the night. What began as a luxurious gathering would soon turn into fire, ruin, and the most humiliating strike on Russian soil in years. At 1930 Moscow time, September 21, 2025, the Crimean guest house of Vladimir Putin was alive with noise and luxury. Russia's elite raised crystal glasses, servants hurried with trays, and conversations of power filled the air. They believed themselves untouchable inside the walls of marble and glass. But out on the Black Sea, a 16-foot phantom vessel carved silently through the waves. In less than 1 minute, illusions of safety would collapse into fire. The craft was the Mura V-5, a Ukrainian naval drone boat. Its fiberglass hull let it slip invisibly across radar screens, cutting water like a predator shark. Hidden within were 6 OSA FPV drones. Each measured only 13 inches, yet carried a 1.5-pound shaped charge. Once triggered, these charges focused into a molten jet hot enough to pierce steel and concrete with ease. Small in size, but engineered for catastrophic effect. Its destination was the infamous 40 Sanatorium, once a health retreat, now a playground of Russia's war criminals. Just beside it stood 4 state-owned dachas, retreats where the FSB plotted their secret operations. Destroying this compound would mean more than humiliation. It would blind Russia's local war apparatus and protect Ukraine's crucial grain corridor through the Black Sea. For Ukraine, the target was both symbolic and strategic. By 1931 local time, with the shore 3 miles away, the Mura V-5 slowed to a crawl. Its bay doors opened and 6 silent machines slipped into the sea one by one. The mothership gave a 10-second laser lock, aligning them for attack. Then it disappeared back into the dark, its mission complete. The offspring surged alive. Their engines roared as they skimmed the water at 60 m/s, barely above the spray. The swarm did not fly straight. They executed the ghost chain, a tactic designed by Ukraine's HUR intelligence service. The lead drone suddenly expelled a shimmering storm of 500 aluminum strips. On Russian radar, hundreds of false signals appeared at once. Operators saw a blizzard of ghosts, an electronic storm of phantom enemies. Behind that cover, the real hunters advanced unseen. The other 5 drones followed closely behind the chaff, flying in formation. They hugged the Foros cliffs, hiding within the radar's blind shadow. When a Russian patrol boat appeared ahead, they rose for only 2.7 seconds, showing themselves 12 feet above the water, then ducked back under the radar horizon. Every movement was timed with precision, survival measured in seconds. Suddenly, nature struck. A brutal 20-knot gust of wind hammered the formation. Drone number 3, already weakened by a corroded antenna, buckled hardest. Its 2.3-degree targeting error became critical. The machine rocked violently like a wild stallion, AI struggling to hold balance. What had been a minor flaw threatened to undo the mission entirely. In a bunker beneath Odessa, a Ukrainian operator stared at a flickering screen. Sweat soaked his hands as he fought the controls, trying to stabilize the tiny craft. 13 inches of metal and circuits pitched helplessly against the storm. Blind behind chaff, the drone's fate depended entirely on his skill. At that moment, the entire operation teetered on his trembling fingertips. On the cliffs, a Russian Spetsnaz operator swept the night with a $10,000 thermoscope. For long minutes, nothing appeared. Then, A sudden flare. Heat racing fast across the sea. A target. He raised his electromagnetic drone rifle and fired. Miles away, the decoy drone sparked, systems fried, and fell into the Black Sea. He radioed triumphantly, unaware he had destroyed nothing but a ghost. The true assassins slipped past below. Yet his report stirred greater danger. At a Pantsir S-1 battery near Yalta, radar screens exploded with alarms. The chaff cloud fooled them. Instead of 5 small drones, the operators saw a single massive intruder moving at 60 miles. The system screamed its warning. Enemy incoming. The order to fire was immediate. A $20 million Pantsir system locked onto the false signal. A multi-million-dollar missile streaked into the night, surging to Mach 3 in seconds. In Odessa, the Ukrainian operator smirked, whispering, "Go ahead, waste your money." The missile struck the chaff with blinding force, vaporizing aluminum strips. Russian crews cheered their kill. In truth, they had destroyed nothing but air. As they celebrated, the Mura V5, still 10 miles offshore, played its last card. It broadcast a fake electronic footprint, imitating a large vessel. On Russian patrol boat screens, a new priority target appeared. Ships were drawn out to sea, away from the coast. The true swarm now had a clear corridor to strike. At 1928, sirens shrieked across Sevastopol. From a nearby airfield, and Su-30 fighter jets screamed into the sky. Afterburners tore the night. A predator worth 50 million capable of Mach 1.9. Built to kill anything airborne, it was Russia's proudest hunter. Yet against a handful of plywood drones, it would face an impossible task. The swarm split. 2 drones dropped lower, hiding almost invisibly in sea clutter. 3 climbed to 200 feet. The Russian pilot now faced multiple intruders at different altitudes. And worse, his weapons risked hitting civilian Dhakas nearby, a no-fire zone. His advantage was fading. Frustrated, Russia unleashed electronic warfare. A 5-mile-wide blanket of jamming roared across the airwaves. Signals drowned in static. For a moment, the swarm was deaf and blind. In Odessa, operators watched their control screens go dark. Yet the OSAs pushed on. Guided by internal gyroscopes, they flew with 98% accuracy. Signals could be jammed, but gravity and momentum could not. On the ground, Spetsnaz teams deployed nets and thermal-guided machine guns. Tracer rounds lit the sky. 1 drone was shredded, bursting into fire. 4 remained. In Odessa, the operator wiped sweat from his brow. His screen flashed, 20 seconds to target. He whispered to himself, "Hold steady, just hold steady." At 1929, Ukraine revealed its ace. 1 OSA drone altered its electronic identity, imitating a civilian airliner. Its transponder screamed the IFF code of a passenger plane. Its trajectory pointed toward a school. Russian commanders froze. Fire and risk an international disaster? Or hesitate and allow an attack? They hesitated. In that hesitation, the true swarm slipped silently through. The 4 drones now had a clear path to the 40 sanatorium. Offshore, the Mura V5 sent a final laser pulse, correcting Drone 3's 3.6-degree error. In Odessa, the operator saw 4 green boxes lock onto the sanatorium's thermal signature. His voice was calm, almost cold. The trap is sprung. At 1930, Russian defenses realized the trick too late. The Pantsir's 30mm cannons erupted, firing 4,000 rounds per minute. Explosions tore across the night sky. Yet the 4 drones did not scatter. They converged, diving through fire like angels of vengeance, locked on the banquet hall below. Fox 3, release payload, the operator commanded. The drones detached their warheads. 4 shaped charges, each 1.5 pounds, unfolded fins and dove at 200 malipramum. Their carriers banked away, racing back to the sea. Inside, chaos reigned. A Spetsnaz commander screamed into his radio. A VIP dropped his glass of caviar on the marble, yelling, "How is this possible? We jammed everything!" But physics could not be jammed. The first warhead hit the glass roof of the main hall with 700 foot-pounds of force. The 4-inch armored glass vaporized. In milliseconds, the copper lining turned into a 5,000 TD-4 jet of molten metal. It burned through marble floors like lightning through paper. Gas lines ruptured, exploding into a fireball that hurled the western wall into the sea. Another warhead struck the VIP garage, igniting a $750,000 armored Mercedes in a tower of fire. The final warhead obliterated the event hall's table, turning secret war plans into ash. The blasts released an electromagnetic pulse, frying local radar and leaving the coast blind. By dawn, the truth was clear. The $50 million sanatorium was a ruin, smoke curling above the shattered coastline. Russia's Black Sea Fleet pulled back, widening Ukraine's grain export corridor by 20%. In Odessa, the Ukrainian operator watched the satellite feed. Flames consumed the compound. A small smile crossed his face. The oldest lesson held: the mightiest wolf can be felled by the smallest arrow, if the aim is true. The ghost chain had turned the sea into a weapon, and Russia's empire, once grand, revealed itself as nothing more than a sandcastle before the tide.